Shalom Aleichem, welcome. What's the difference between Kabbalah and Hasidus? They actually seem to be talking about the same thing, but they're very different objectives in each of these wisdoms. Kabbalah is a description and definition of a system that God uses to create the world. It talks about all the levels, it gives them names. That doesn't mean that those names actually mean a thing in the air or a mystical thing, whatever. No, it's just a name that we humans give to something that is not human, is divine, is godly. But he, God, shows himself and expresses himself through different levels, and Kabbalah defines and explains each one of those levels. What do you do with that? Forget it. Do whatever you want. It's like a map. When you have a map, you can go here, you can go there, you can understand what a certain place in the world it looks like and is what, etc., etc. But you don't have to do anything with the map. Like, the map doesn't tell you what to do. It's just a map. This is a description. This is what Kabbalah is. What does it describe? Again, levels. Why? Because God is one and creation is multiplicity. So one of the ideas that Kabbalah wants to explain through describing all those levels is how do you go from one God into a multiplicity of a creation. Many human beings, many animals, many plants, many creatures in general. This is what Kabbalah talks about. What does Hasidus talk about? Hasidus talks about your connection as a human being to God. How can you go beyond yourself? How can you actually connect to him and feel his presence in this world and fulfill your mission that he gave you in this world in a happy way, in a meaningful way? What does that mean? The idea is like this. God created in general four types of creatures. You have inanimate objects, and how does this inanimate object actually goes beyond itself? When a plant absorbs the mineral becomes plant. So it went like an infinite jump from being mineral into plant. When an animal eats the plant suddenly becomes animal, infinite jump from vegetable world into animal world. When a human being eats the animal, it becomes elevated again in an infinite way, from animal into human being. What about the human being? How does it elevate itself? There's nobody eating here human beings. So how does it go beyond itself? When a human being, which is finite, connects to God, which is infinite, that's the way the human being goes beyond himself, from his like small world, human world, intellectual world, even emotional world. How can you go actually beyond that? When you connect to God. How do you connect to God? By fulfilling the commandments. But it's not just, okay, go do what you have to do. What do you have to do? You have to put on this thing in your arm and this thing in your head, and you have to do this, that. Okay, what's the next thing? Okay, let's do it. No. In that way, you're not going to feel God. Because it's just like doing something, and it's a dry doing something. Doesn't mean anything. Even though we can discuss, like halachically, legally speaking, in Jewish law, whether you actually fulfilled your obligation or not, we can discuss that. It's not the point of this class. However, clearly it's like a dry thing, dead thing. It's like a body without a soul. When you actually understand that through fulfilling your commandments, your mission in this world, you're actually connecting yourself to God, you're going beyond yourself, and you're bringing down God into this world, which is the reason why God created this world. He wants to be revealed over here through our fulfillment of his mission. When you understand this, when you fulfill actually a commandment, you do it in a different way, and it means something else. Maybe the action is the same, but the feeling is completely different. It's like a body with a soul, which is completely different. It's alive than a body without a soul. The body is a body, yeah, but this one is dead, and this one is alive. And this is what Hasidus talks about. So again, Kabbalah is like a map. It's like a definition. What do you do with it? Whatever you want, or nothing. Hasidus helps you. It's tools to connect yourself to God, to go beyond yourself, and to fulfill your mission in the best way possible.